Hey everyone! Today I'm summarizing The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins, a dark Southern Gothic thriller inspired by Jane Eyre. Spoiler alert, this video contains major plot twists. If you haven't read the book yet, consider checking it out first. Link to purchase is in the description. Jane Eyre is the new dog walker at Thornfield Estates, and she's quite in demand among the wealthy community. During one of her duties, she meets Eddie Rochester, one of the homeowners. He's handsome, rich, and a widower. He lives alone in his house since his late wife. B. Rochester died in a boating accident along with her best friend, Blanche. Jane is far from wealthy. She's simple, even unnoticeable. So it comes as a shock to the other housewives when they learn she's dating Eddie. She eventually becomes friends with Emily, who used to hire her as a dog walker. From being paid hourly, she's now spending time with them, thanks to Eddie's money, or rather, B's money. Eddie has been perfect. He even asked Jane to marry him. That made Jane so happy. She felt incredibly lucky to end up with a guy like Eddie. But she didn't expect the mess she had gotten herself into. B. Rochester isn't dead. She's actually locked upstairs in a secret room they call the Panic Room. Only Blanche is dead. Her body was found with a skull fracture. There was an investigation, and Blanche's husband was arrested for her murder. B is being kept upstairs. Eddie brings her food, books, and lately he's been visiting her so they could have sex. B wrote all of this down in a notebook, which she later slipped into Eddie's jacket, hoping Jane would find it and save her. After talking to Blanche's husband, and hearing him warn her about how dangerous Eddie is, Jane went back to the house, searched for clues, and found the book B had written in. She read it, and was able to open the Panic Room. She saved B, helping her escape. When Eddie arrived to stop them, Jane smashed a metal pineapple into his face, breaking some of his teeth. B and Jane locked Eddie in the Panic Room as the two of them talked downstairs. Jane suggested they call the police, but B was unusually calm and told her it wasn't necessary. B then shared her version of what happened. She said Blanche had invited her to the lake house to confront her about the affair. And then Eddie showed up and killed Blanche because he'd rather see her dead than let the truth about his cheating come out. Jane didn't believe her, and B knew Jane wasn't buying the story either. What really happened? There had been a silent war between B and Blanche. Blanche had been seducing Eddie, and when Eddie turned her down, she got so angry that she told him about what happened to B's mother. B's mother was found at the bottom of the stairs when only B was around. That was 2 weeks after her mother had humiliated her during a party. Eddie confronted B about it, and she was dismissive, calmly answering his question, then asking Eddie why he and Blanche were even talking about her mother. Eddie was taken aback, but he also realized then that B might be truly dangerous. After what Blanche did, B knew she had to do something. She invited Blanche to their lake house and also asked Tripp to come over. They drank. Tripp passed out. Blanche got drunk too, while B only pretended to be. Tripp was left in the guest room while B and Blanche went out on the boat. And that's when B killed Blanche. After killing Blanche, B returned to the lake house soaking wet and found Eddie, who had just arrived. Eddie immediately knew what she had done, and he tried to reassure B that he understood. When B thought everything was fine, Eddie suddenly grabbed her and locked her in the Panic Room to protect her. B didn't realize it at the time, but it all made sense when Jane said it. He loved you. Now she gets it. The reason Eddie locked her up instead of getting rid of her, which would have been so easy, was because he was in love with her. And she was in love with him too. As Jane insisted they call the police and B tried to stop her, the fire alarm went off. The house was on fire. B rushed upstairs to rescue Eddie. There was so much smoke that Jane blacked out, and the next thing she knew, she was waking up in a hospital bed. The detective told her Eddie was dead. They didn't find a body, but they did find some teeth. Jane accepted that, although she knew she had knocked some of Eddie's teeth out herself. And with no trace of B either, they could still be alive. Since the house had already burned down, Jane was back to being poor again. Emily offered to let her stay. It was nice being a guest, although a few days later, she found herself doing some chores. Jane got a call from Eddie's lawyer. He had left everything to her. The lot at Thornfield Estates, B's company, Southern Manners, and their money. Jane cried and took it as a gift from Eddie and B for keeping their secret. She started fresh on her own. Sometimes her mind wanders and she thinks about Eddie and B, possibly alive and together. No other assets, but they have each other. That's it for The Wife Upstairs. Summary. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, the purchase link is in my bio. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my other book summaries.